Okay, my name is Tanja Janjic. I'm Identification Analyst of the British Columbia Coroner Service.
Perfect. How long have you been in your role?
I've been with Coroner Service for 19 years, but in this role for 7 years, but I was acting for another 7, so 14 years in an identification unit.
Wow, that's a long time doing what you're doing.
It is.
For you, coming to work every day and knowing that you're impacting cases in a positive way by making an identification, how does that feel?
Fantastic. It is, feel very proud where I work, what I work for. I'm so glad when we have the final moment when the family is actually notified of identification, finally found their loved ones. It cannot be really used in words, and I'm not really strong with words, but it's a fantastic feeling. I really love what I do. I'm very proud what I do, and I'm proud of my agency. Very proud. I have to repeat it. So yes, great feeling, fantastic feeling. Emotional, yes. Hard, yes. But it's great at the end.
I was just about to ask you about the emotions. I'm sure we've talked to many people in your shoes before, and also detectives who get involved in these cases in a way. Obviously, you have a job to do, but once you hear from families or know that you're making that identification, what emotions do arise for you?
Oh my goodness, I kept it for a long time, the emails, the cards, the letters of the families that sent. They're all aware that their loved one's gone, but the moment when they hear that, the closure that they feel it's something that, and when they express their feeling to you, it's fantastic. I remember one time the lady came to my office and she says, that was my baby. I held that person in my arms. It was just a few bones that was found, but that was her baby. And she was crying, and I was crying with her. I'm not ashamed to say it was very emotional, I mean, it's usually mothers that we talk to, and being a mother, again, it's very hard feeling, but it's really rewarding at the end. When they see that instead of being unidentified human remains, we put a name on it in our system. It's really great. Then that's, we don't look at those cases as just a case number. We approached it was a human being, someone's child, someone's parent, someone's sister, brother. So when we put that name to it, it's great. It's really rewarding for all of us. Not only our identification, but the coroner service in whole. It's a very, what's the word, rewarding, I guess, at the end. It is. It's a closure. We're all public servants. This is a public service agency, and we do it for the public, for the better. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, you are helping immensely. I know in your 19 plus years here doing this, when did you first start to see a pattern of certain body parts washing ashore and needing identification?
Oh, we have unidentified bodies from the late 50s. That's about the threshold that we accept them as modern, and then before that are historical, and then anthropological. But it's from late 50s and 60s, and we do have, there's no actual pattern, there's always human remains found. We have vast amount of water, shore. We have so many mountains and forests and everything. People get lost and then die, and then animals get the bones all over, spread. Birds, eagles. There was a mandible that was found, just a mandible, and we ID'd it. There was a part of the skull, like, I don't know what's that, few inches, part of the skull, in a riverbed. Kids were playing, they found it was this, parents saw it, and they said maybe it's a human, and they brought it to the police, and we ID'd the person who went missing, accidentally fell into water, and a few years back. So there's not really some pattern, but as for feet, I guess that you're very, very interested in. As I said previously, we had previous feet from 1987, then we have someone in 97, but this all that was media really interested is somewhere in 2007 when we found the first foot, and the last one actually is 2023. So there's 16 feet that were found, and they're all ID'd. And 4 of them there's 4 from one person. I don't know how is that best to say. There's 8 shoes that belong to 4 people, so 2 of them. And the science beside all of that is actually the modern style of making shoes. It's actually that little anatomic cushion, air cushion, that is in the shoe, and during the circulation of the body, in the water, they're all water related. They circulate from the body and then acts like a buoy. Is that the right word? Yeah.
Like a buoy.
Buoy.
That's
Thank
okay.
you.
So let's backtrack just a second to, you were talking about how feet have washed ashore prior to 2007, but then in that year, what happened in that summer?
The foot was found by usually people that either combed the beach for something or kids playing on the beach, and they found it and they called police. Police might notify coroner service, and then we get the foot to our possession, as the coroner service is the one who is in possession of all bodies, dead bodies in the BC. And if you want me to talk about the process of identification, is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, eventually. I want to kind of understand from your perspective why 2007 is significant.
There wasn't any before. It was just nothing was found before. Maybe there's so many, but they're not found. No one reported them. But that's particular year when it actually started. I don't know, is it the production of the shoes that actually show that that actually happens prior to that time, that they're adding those extra cushions? Could be that. That's the only thing that I think that's why it's nothing before. I don't know, honestly, I never thought of it. Why would that be a question? But probably the production of the shoes, that they're adding extra insoles or
And
air
that is
cushion.
making the shoes
Float.
Okay.
Yes, float, like almost like a personal floating device for the foot. That's what it is. The rest of the body, who knows? And then and where the location is, it's always much farther than where the last seen alive of that person, and that just because it's water, it's a rivers, and it's a currents, it's tides, huge amount of water here, so that's why it's all of these islands around Vancouver.
And how many feet have you all helped identify?
All 16 that were found, yes.
All right, let's talk about the process of someone finds the foot, they bring it here.
Mm-hmm.
What happens next?
Not really here to be BCIT, but it brings it to coroner service. So we do have forensic anthropologist who's gonna have first look at it. So we have a foot size 12. It's a men's shoe, and that's a little bit first indicated that could be a male, but not before we get to the DNA report from the BCIT. So we look at the shoes production date. So we look inside, on the tongue of the shoes, there's a little codes and something. So we contact, first one was Nike, we contact the Nike company, and we get confirmation that it was manufactured in 2005, and this is the first foot from 2007. So we knew that this person was alive in 2005. So after we get the sample for the DNA profiling, we give it here to BCIT, and it takes about 4, 5, 6 weeks depending on their job too. We have enough time to look who that person could be, and we work closely with the police agencies around us, and we do have our GIS analyst in a BC Coroner service, so they look at who geographically could be this person that is photally found of. So we look at the missing people above and upstream of the rivers. So our anthropologists look at the development of the foot and can say, okay, this is a young adult male, or this is average, what's the average age now? What's the word? Okay, now I lost it.
Middle age?
Middle age, thank you. Or it's a middle age male, or this is an old person. And anthropologists can say that when they look at the bones, they see the fusion of the bones, they can see if there's arthritis in the bone or something, so they can give us some guidelines how old that person could be. Now we get the list from there's a missing persons center, and they gave us a list. Okay, here's the list of 100 males age 18 to 75 that are missing from 2005 and onwards. And then we go through the list and we're eliminating, and this is once we get actually confirmation it's a male, right? Once we have male, half of our missing is gone, so all the females are gone. If anthropologist says this is an adult male, we eliminate children. So female and children are out. Now when we get, if it's a average age, then we eliminate 75 or 80. So we getting narrow and narrow list of these people. And then we get from the police more detailed information about the last time seen alive person. So if someone is, for example, missing in northern BC in a lake, fishing in a lake, and the boat overturned and the person died, we eliminate that. That cannot be on Waldes Island of the outside of the coast of Vancouver Island. So we eliminate that. But if someone was seen either suspiciously walking toward a bridge with maybe some intentions, or accidentally in a boat or swimming and drowning, then we take more attention to it. So we request from the police to get the DNA samples from the families, the nearest family relative, usually parents are the best one, or the child. We go up the vertical line, parent, child, or siblings, and then you get two or more siblings, and we get the DNA samples, we send them here for the profiling, and they do analysis, and they give us profiles. So up to this year, our BC Coroners Service has DNA database. It's very unique. RCMP has the DNA database, and the National of Canada has the database. But Coroners Service of BC is very unique, and we have in-house database. And I have to say that I'm the one who enters and deals with it, and access to it only one person, that was me, and Dr. Dean Hildebrand, the Dean of Faculty of here at the BC, he's the second person. So when I enter it, I send him a link that I entered it, and he does the analysis. And if something matches, he gives us, we call it a hit report. And that's something that is like 100% support of identification. They don't do the saying, okay, this is it. The identification is it's a solely on the coroner that investigates, but that's a support for strong, very strong, moderate, weak, or no support to identification. So when we have now circumstantial that this person was missing from 2006 and the body was found 2007, post-mortem changes. Last seen alive, and DNA now profile really supporting it, then we do identification. And then we notify the police agency, and they do notify family, give them our information, then family calls us asking about how it was done, like all of this. And then we tell family it's only one piece of the remain. Mm-hmm. We're talking about feet now, but sometimes it's a skull, arm, torso, ribs. It's not always, or complete body. Could be decomposed, or could be just a skeletal. And we notify the family, and the family knows that it's not complete. In cases of feet. And we do have a form, and the family has to sign. We request them to sign. Would they like to be notified for if another case body part was found? Most of them know, because it's already hard to go through all that once. But some family do. But it's something that we need to know, because it did happen. One of the feet that we first found, later on was found mandible, and then the femur. Was a part of the skull found, all different islands and waterways. So luckily that family said, we don't want to know. So it will be 4 times calling them, we found another one. Because we got a profile. Every time we found remains, our anthropologists look at them and say it is very worn out and very deteriorated. If it's a skull with the teeth that are very consistent with the okay, word, not anthropological, archaeological, but you have to bear with me. I have to
That's okay.
And then she's a forensic anthropologist. She can say this is archaeological remain, and we don't do any analysis. We checked which is if there's a First Nation tribe that belongs to, and there's a completely different branch of the government that deals with that. So it's off our hands. If you're not sure if it's archaeological, then we do for isotopic testings and whatnot, but that's another topic. So we do approach to every single remains in BC that was found with the same care, same investigation, if it has to be done. So DNA is profiled for any remains that looks modern in any way, we will do it. And then compare with everything that we have in database. We compare against missing. Some missing profiles we have direct profile. It's either from the pap smear or police give us if it was from some previous offenses, criminal offenses. They share with us. We don't share with them, I have to say that. It's compared against everything because, for example, this foot, it's already in our system. We have the name, but if another foot was found, maybe without shoe, could be that. So we profile it and we enter the database. It's compared one against everything, and if it matches to something, we just merge it. If it's not, this stays as a new unidentified case, which we have a little bit less than 200. It varies, but about 200 is our average unidentified human remains of the BC. Still
Unidentified?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow,
Yes.
that's significant. In the 16 feet that were found and positively identified, can you walk me through just what each case ended up being? Are they mostly missing persons cases? Are they mostly homicide? What does the 16 tell us?
I don't think there was any of the homicides, but I cannot really say that much. First of all, I'm not a coroner, I'm an analyst, so I don't write a coroner's report and I don't determine that. Lots of accidents, drowning, suicides as well. So, but it's something that maybe Amber can talk a little bit more. I cannot, I'm sorry, I cannot.
That's okay.
Really
I know the
say
map
much.
had kind of a few of them listed, so.
It is. For example, there was a 1 foot that it was presumed that was this kid that drowned. He was with friends, had a few more drinks, and said, okay, I'm going to swim in the river. The rivers are very strong, and people don't really know how powerful they are. They underestimate the strength and the coldness and everything. And he drowned, and all his friends witnessed that. And I think a couple of months after the show showed up on very, very close, a few miles down the stream, and that was very presumptive. We already kind of knew that police knew first, and they told us, and it was very fast. That was the fastest one. Some of them we had for years. All depends also, some missing persons are always, not always reported by the families. It may be estranged, maybe they have no contact, or there's no family members at all. And then we don't know. And all that information, because Coroner Service investigate death bodies. So we're not really into jurisdiction of the missing people, and all we have is from the police. We have really good relationship, MOUs between them, and information that we have, it's strictly from them about those missing people. So if someone is missing for a long time, we have really high threshold. Are we going to accept that information or not? We accept only if there's high probability of death in BC. And we really work closely with outside of border, with Washington State, saying because some of our bodies could end up in your waters or vice versa. And we had in the past, even from Oregon, not Washington State, a person was just fall in the water during fishing. And it was, I think, year of El Nino, and water brought him all the way mid of the Vancouver Island. Took us many years to ID because no one really suspected that could be the person from there. But DNA, again, fantastic tool for the identification. So,
when people, talk about this mystery of the feet washing ashore, and there's all these speculations and rumors, what would you like people to know on a science fact-finding basis here? Is this a mystery?
No, the body decomposes and body disarticulate very fast in the water. I mean, a little bit slower in the cold water, but just it's a process of after we die. That's what happens. Body falls apart. Everything is disarticulating, and just because the shoes are again flotation device. That's why it is. No mystery. It's just it's not that it's not mystery. It is really interesting, but there's nothing that is scary. That is something that people should be concerned with. Something just a way of how body reacts after starts breathing and living. Just the composition changes and disarticulation as a process of it.
Thank you for saying that. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it. I think that's an important soundbite.
Yeah.
And then really my last question, and of course if there's anything I forgot to ask Amber, you can weigh in on mic too. Can you tell me, I know you handle Canada cases, but obviously we're in the Washington State area and some in Oregon cases too, but do you know how many have been found across the Salish Sea area, Puget Sound even, and why are a majority in Canada?
Oh, there are many I think it is in Netherlands has also lots. It's probably just because of the waterways. It's how the currents work. I guess it's coming down from the Hawaii and up coast, and that's why. And that's I believe is the. But again, that's a question for the ocean. Amber.
An oceanographer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But the person that knows more about the currents, waters, waves, and everything. That's why. And it's interesting why that many, in BC. It's really, really interesting. But then again, it's a very transient place, and there's so many people coming from all over in Vancouver, and some of them not even living in Vancouver. They just happen to be going through and dying and finding there. It's lots of water around here, and cold water, so preserves for time being, and then I guess when the whole process of chemical process starts and disarticulates and floats up. And I bet there is much more everywhere, but it's just not being found.